Okay, Fred, so as you know, we do have a special guest with us today. Before we get to that, we are leaning into now, Miatica is about to perform at St. Mary's this week, all right? And we have an extra performance. Yes, Thursday, an extra performance at 7:30. So 7:30 right in this space, Miatica is here. And if you want to get those tickets, oh, well, look, it's just happening right there. So Tom Winter's on it. And so that just gives you a sneak peek of what's going on there. That's not a Levi's ad. That is Miatica. Yeah, big LED screen that goes up here. So Thursday, again, at 7:30. Friday at... You want to just jump up here and help me out because you know better than I.
So, starting at 6:45, you can come to the boutique. We have special things from Mauritius and Madagascar, like the women's crafts and whatnot. That opens at 6:45, and then in here at 7:30. Please bring your friends. And you can buy tickets at the door, so it's not hard. Just come. We want to fill the place. If you've already bought your ticket for another day and you want to just come on in, just come in. We'd rather have you here than not here. So bring your friends. So that's Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday morning we've got the workshop. So as we have 6 paintings that will be in front of us, not here, but over in the sanctuary. And as we were writing the musical in Mauritius, there was a local artist, Lynn Barletta. She was painting much of the story, and so we've threaded in 6 of her paintings with the Miatica story, and we'll be digging deeper into a workshop on Saturday morning, starting at 8:30 with coffee, 9 to 12. It sounds like a long time, but it really goes fast. Over in the sanctuary for digging deeper into the message about Miatica, and then 12:30 a lunch, and then the 2 o'clock matinee performance. Also, Father Christian,
yes, ma'am.
I think they want to know about that we're going to be doing outreach on Monday to the 10th Street community, and on Wednesday, we're going to be singing under the blue tarp at the Riverfront Amphitheater. That's at 1:30. So please come enjoy the beauty of the weather and the beauty of Stuart. That's underneath the blue tarp, Riverfront Amphitheater at 1:30 on Wednesday.
So it shows you that, we talked about this at the annual meeting. Every ministry that we have here, because of the DNA of this church, there's a movement of outreach. It's always that reaching out with love. So Miatica is it's not a St. Mary's thing. It's stopping at other churches, and then there's this outreach of being, how do we go to 10th Street? How do we go literally into the public square and go into downtown Stuart? So just bravo to listening to the Holy Spirit and the incredible team. You have like 22 leaders who are a part of this, who are organizing, doing logistics and housing people, and it's just been an amazing, amazing, awesome journey.
The We team has been amazing, and I would like to thank you so much for the drivers and the meals and the hosting, and we've had to juggle, and you guys at St. Mary's have been amazing, isn't it? Just amazing. So really, it is because of the We team.
Yep, yeah, We team, W-E.
Right.
We. I thought she said something else. So yes, the We team, yes.
Okay.
So cool.
Good.
All right.
All right.
So friends, I was at the Episcopal Parish Network, EPN, this whole week, which is the big conference of the church for endowed parishes. And they brought in all these different Anglican leaders from all around the world, bishops and primates from Africa, and just it felt such a blessing to be at a church where we don't have to show up at these conferences to commune with our Anglican brothers and sisters. They come here, or we go there. As you can see with Miatica coming here, but then we also here we go out and we go to Ecuador and to many other places. So Celeste Bundy, who is the executive director of Education Equals Hope. So for those of you who don't know, when we lift up Ecuador, we are working with Education Equals Hope. And their thought is you leave no child behind who gets caught in the cycle of poverty. And so all the support and everything you've been doing, she is our contact on the ground here in the States, but also goes to Ecuador all the time. So she is our guest. She came in town to see Miatica, and so she's going to share a few words.
Great. Thanks so much, Father Christian. It is so good to be here. I am so excited to be a part of your worship this morning. I recognize a lot of the faces here this morning from our Zoom call back in 2020. Some of you had the opportunity to do a virtual short-term mission. Does anyone remember that? Do you remember raising funds and getting to pour a bunch of old rotten food on Father Christian and Father Todd's head? That was a lot of fun. That was one of my favorite memories of my job here at Education Equals Hope. Yeah, so you guys, as Father Christian mentioned, you guys are going to Ecuador to be with our students this summer. Thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to partner with your youth and your leadership here to go and serve among students who are living in desperate and difficult situations. Melinda asked me to share a little bit about what you guys would be doing. So your team will go and actually build relationships with our students. Because of donors like St. Mary's and partners like you guys, we are able to impact 586 students just in Ecuador. Yeah, it's amazing. So your team will get to go and build relationships with a lot of those students. And I want to share a story of one of our students. His name is Luis. And these are the kinds of students that your students and your leadership will be able to meet and spend time with. So Luis was 3 years old when his father passed away. He has 2 other brothers, and his mom just could not handle the responsibility of being a parent any longer. So she actually left her kids on the street. Luis and his 2 brothers ended up going into foundations or orphanages, as they're called, in Ecuador. And they lived there for the majority of his life. When he was 18, his story was shared with our leadership at a ministry site called Casa Gabriel. And Casa Gabriel is a safe home for boys who formerly were homeless and living on the street. So they took Luis underneath their arm, and he just graduated with his high school diploma at the age of 23. So you guys are going to be able to meet kids like Luis, sharing their stories, share your stories of what God is doing here in Stuart. And we are just so grateful for the opportunity to serve with you guys in this way. Another thing that I want to highlight is the spiritual formation that will happen as part of that experience. Your kids will, we like to say that God is, and we know this, God is already working in Ecuador, right? He's not waiting on a group of North Americans to come and share his love. He is already there moving and leading and loving his people. But we have the honor and the privilege to come alongside of what he is doing and be a part of the work of God in Ecuador. So what we will encourage your students and the teams to do is to come back and to bear fruit. So hopefully, you guys can ask them when they come back, how are you going to bear fruit from your experience? Are you going to continue to serve in Ecuador, maybe going on another team? Are you going to give back in your local community? Like, what is God going to do through you to bear fruit for him, both here locally in Stuart and around the world? And then the last thing that I wanted to share is just that you guys are all invited. As Patsy said, come and see what we're about. Come and see the work of what you guys are doing and are already a part of in Quito. But in the reading from Romans 5 today, I just thought it was very unique that it said, hope does not disappoint us. And the hope of education is obviously not disappointing our students in Quito and Ecuador and around the world. Because of people like you guys, the hope of God and the hope of education, the hope of a better future exist, and we could not thank you enough. So thank you so much for being a part. Thanks for having me, and I just love being here. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
So if you have any questions about the work that happens in Ecuador and beyond, because Education Equals Hope is not just Ecuador, it is Costa Rica, it is Rwanda, it is Kenya, it is Haiti, and Uganda, yes. She will be afterwards, she'll be in the lobby, and then she's gonna do a quadruple header and go to the 10:30 and go to the coffee hour over there. So she is here, so ask away. And then finally, friends, just your prayers. You might have seen it in the New York Times today as we talk about we are a missional church. And so our friends in Madagascar, it was here, they talks about the cyclone and just how it really, the disruption it caused in Madagascar and Africa. So you can see the article there. And yes, so as you know, at first it was like a 5, 4, 3, 2, and then it passed, and everyone thought it was okay, and then it just turned around and came back and hit. It hit pretty hard. So we, as part of the global church and part of our sisters and brothers of Madagascar, pray. We'll find out ways of how we can continue to help and support. So this is God's church. It's not just St. Mary's. It's the whole world. That's what we're a part of, and that's where God calls us to. So friends, let us walk in love as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as an offering and a sacrifice to God.